Bombonera or Anfield for Atmosphere?
No, come on.
What was it like the morning that you got the news that Jurgen Klopp was going to walk away at the end of the season?
I think everyone was in shock. Why is he leaving?
The World Cup.
If there is someone that knows about World Cup, it's here.
I don't know what it's like to win one though, Alexis. Could you please tell me?
5 million people in the streets. And people used to run next to the bus for kilometers. That was the most special moment in my football career, for sure.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, they're all obviously out of contract. Is that something that players talk about? I'm at the home of Alexis Mac Allister, who, as you'll all know, is a World Cup winner, currently playing in the all-conquering Liverpool side under Arne Slot. And I want to ask firstly, actually, about your name, Mac Allister. Now, that's a kind of bit of British about that, but certainly at least Scottish about it, or possibly Irish as well.
Yeah, it is Irish. I don't know why many people think it's a Scottish.
Well, it's muck everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually Irish. And a couple of months or weeks ago, I received a letter from my family in Ireland. So
asking you to play for them.
No,
that's too late.
That's too late. Yeah, that's too late. But asking me to go there one day, and
wow.
Yeah, I would love to. To. It feels weird because I'm 25 and it just came now. But hopefully one day I can go and meet all of my family.
Talking of family, you have a remarkable football family, don't you? I mean, so many members that have gone on to have careers in football. Talk through your family. Who's played?
Yeah, for us, football is everything. You have my dad play football.
With Diego?
With Diego Maradona, yeah. Exactly. So, very lucky guy. So, yeah, my dad and my uncle both play football. Then my 2 brothers play football. Now, one is playing in Belgium, the other one in Argentina, Francis and Kevin. So there you have 4 players. Then one of my cousins is playing in Malaysia now, Luciano. And of course, granddads play football as well, not professionally, but play football. So yeah, football means everything to us, and that's why we play, and that's why we really enjoy playing it.
You've got a Kevin Mac Allister in the family. Was it named after the Home Alone?
Yes.
I'm sure you've been asked this before. It actually was.
Yeah, it actually was. And he didn't know until he was 15 or 16. He was basically doing an interview, and they asked him, and we were listening to it in the kitchen, and he was in the living room doing the interview. So he said, "No, I don't really know. I don't think so." And my mom was next to me, and she was like, "Yes, it's because of the film." So it was quite a funny moment. But yeah, when he was 16, he found out that it was because of the.
There are worse things to find out.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up as a youngster in Argentina?
I had the possibilities to go to different clubs and play football. With my 2 brothers, it was always easier because you have them to play football whenever you want.
You must have been playing growing up every
day. We really enjoy playing together. So yeah, I started in Argentino Juniors, a big club in Argentina, where Maradona play. Yeah. Players like Riquelme, Cambiaso, Sorin, big players play there. So we decided to go, all of us there.
You mentioned Riquelme as well. I think he's widely regarded in Argentina as a very special player, wasn't he?
Yeah, for me he was always my idol. Yeah, I always said that. He was an amazing player. He used to play as a 10. Then he went to Barcelona, where I think he didn't enjoy much.
We'll jump ahead to the World Cup just briefly, just for this particular story, because the old burro, wasn't it, burro?
Yes.
From Messi towards Louis van Gaal. Is it true that because also Messi had a lot of respect for Riquelme and didn't like the way he was treated? Is that generally the case? And that's why he responded to Van Gaal?
I'm not sure. I couldn't say that. What I know is that Messi and Riquelme have a very good relationship, and of course Riquelme didn't have a good time with Van Gaal. Di Maria neither. But that game was a big one because I remember Dibu Martinez as well saying that they spoke a lot before the game. I don't know. It felt like they were not respecting us. So yeah, it was a big game. It was a nice one because we won it at the end in penalties.
It got a bit scary though, didn't it? I mean,
It's
two goals right at the end, and then the scenes in the dugout and the kind of bit of a fisticuffs and all.
It was similar to the final.
Yeah.
It was similar to the final because we were winning 2-0.
Without the aggressive nature between the two sides. Yeah, very similar to the final.
So, 2-0, and then they scored 2 goals out of nothing, just with 2 crosses. Well, actually, it was a free kick.
Free kick, the last clever free kick.
Yeah, it was a nice one. But yeah, after... during the extra time, I think we dominated the game again and won it on penalties. But it was a nice one. It felt nice. It felt like a war on the pitch. And as Argentinians, we really like it.
Talking about that nature of Argentinian football, what's the biggest difference between playing in Argentina and playing in England?
I think that, I went straight from Argentina to Brighton. So for me, it was a huge change.
In what way?
I think that the most difficult part was the physical side. Here, the intensity is too high. And
that would surprise people here because I've played against Argentina on about 3 occasions, two or three occasions, and one very famous game. And the one thing I would have said is that they're very physical. I mean, obviously brilliantly talented, but it always felt, I played against Ruggieri and people like that, and Brown, and they were pretty physical, I can assure you. Is that not the case?
The thing is, I think in Argentina it's more about the duels. That's where we put the intensity.
Okay.
And here is I don't know, the total distance you made, the high sprint. I think that's the difference. Then when we go to duels, we go always 100%, and we don't care. So yeah, in Argentina it's more about tackles and these kind of things, but here the physical side is
the running aspects, the speed of the game. Did it take you a while to adapt?
Yeah, it did. I would say 8 months to a year.
Yeah.
And when I arrived here, I didn't have, I don't know, the physical aspect was a big thing for me, but I arrived and 2 or 3 weeks later, COVID started. So I didn't have the trainings I needed for, I would say, 2 months because we couldn't train.
No. Was that difficult? Because I imagine, because there was no fans, there was no, people had to be apart, and you've just come to a new country. That must have actually been...
That was so hard. That was so hard for me. And I was lucky because my mom was in England, so I had my mom and she used to cook and do all the things that at that time I didn't know how to do it. So that was a big thing. But yeah, it was a nice period when we're at home doing nothing, couldn't train. Then the league started again and there was no fans. Didn't feel right, but it is what it is. After that, I think...
Do you think that also affected your Argentinian career? Because you played a couple of games, didn't you, when you were very young, and then there was the COVID, and then you didn't get back into the side until, a year or so before the World Cup?
Yeah, and it was because of COVID, but as well because I couldn't get the game time I wanted here in England. So as I said, it took me like a year to play regularly.
Were the times you thought, not sure I can do it here?
Well, there was a time that I was, or actually when I started playing, I was about to leave. Basically, January was coming, and December and January, you have lots of games in the Premier League. So we had lots of injuries in Brighton, and there was no option. So the manager had to say, okay, Alexis, it's your turn.
Was that Potter at that time?
That was Potter, yeah. So yeah, then I had the possibility to play a couple of games, score some goals, and I think the manager started had more confidence on me from that time, and that was the moment where I started playing and I started feeling confident that I could do it.
I think it's difficult. I've played abroad as well in a couple of places, and I think there's an automatic assumption that football playing, you just carry on the same everywhere you go, but it's not necessarily like that when you move in country to adapt different language. Did you speak English when you first arrived?
Nothing at all.
Well, I must say, I'll congratulate you on how you've managed to learn the language really well. And that's important, isn't it? To feel part of everything, because you feel a bit like an outsider when you can't understand what anyone else is saying.
Yeah.
Even on the football pitch.
Yeah, it was so difficult. The language was a big thing for me. I did lessons for a year and a half, and
back to school.
Yes, basically. But it was good. It was good, and it's always nice to communicate and have relationships within the club. So language was a big barrier at the beginning. Then the culture, the weather.
The weather? What?
Yes,
beautiful.
I wouldn't say
especially at this time of year, from now until about March.
So let's say that in Argentina is a bit different in terms of the weather. But yeah, I had to learn a lot of things. As I said, I was young. I didn't know how to live on my own. So it was tough. It was a tough year, but after that, I love the country, the people, and I feel very welcome here in England.
That's good to hear. What's Graham Potter like?
He's a very good coach, coach that needs time to build things.
Which you didn't get at Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. And which is normal, in the big clubs. You don't have the time you need. It's always like this. And I felt really sad for him because I know the coach he is, the human being he is. Even though I didn't play the first year, I think he was always there to support me, and that was really important. So I'm really grateful with him, and I think he's a very good coach that hopefully we will see him soon on the pitch.
It's a very well-run club, Brighton, isn't it? Was that a good place to start?
Definitely.
What makes them so different? Because they're punching above their weight, realistically, aren't they? As a football club, they seem to find players like yourself, young players coming through from different parts of the world, and then sell them on or keep them as part of their team. They don't make many mistakes.
Well, I think everyone look at the young players, the player they sell, or these kind of things. But what I have to say is that they have a big base in players like Lewis Dunk, or these leaders that are so important for the club. Danny Welbeck has been there for a couple of years, and he was amazing with the young players. They bring players that they think they are good from the data. They work a lot with data. So I think everyone at the club knows the role, and I think, as I said, I think the base that they created in Lewistown. Of course, then you need the managers to play the young players, which is not easy.
And they still seem to find the clever upcoming managers as well.
Yeah, exactly. After Potter, they found the Serbi, which is...
What was he like? Is he quite frantic?
He's a crazy guy. Yeah, he's Italian. He's Italian.
He's a crazy guy. Is he?
He's a crazy guy, but I love him. I think he's the best manager I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, and then I have coaches like Heinz as well in Argentina.
Wow, okay.
So I have very good coaches, and
what makes De Zerbi so special?
I think the passion he gives for football, that's special, and then his idea, his tactical side is amazing, and triangles. I don't know how to say it, but he makes yourself feel good in the team and
good motivator.
Yeah. So since the first day I met him, he was amazing with me, and that's why I said he was the best coach.
When you go back to Brighton, how are the fans with you?
Amazing.
They're good.
Yeah,
they appreciate what you
always.
did for them. Yeah.
I came back twice with Liverpool, and they've always been amazing with me. They know that the love I have for them, and it's a really special place for me.
And they probably understand if a club like Liverpool comes calling. It's tough to turn that down, isn't it? What was that like when you got, I don't know, how did it happen? Did you get a call? Did your agent get in touch with you? Did the club say, well, we've had an offer? How did it work?
Yeah, it was with my agent first. of course, as you said, Liverpool's a big club, so it's so hard to say no. But at the same time, there was a release clause, so everything was a little bit easier, let's say. And I don't think the fans understand that Liverpool comes and is a big club, because it happened with players that went to Chelsea or other clubs, and the fans don't like it. I think it's just the way you live.
Fans never like it when their best players go. I mean, you can understand that, can't you? As a footballer, I think. But sometimes players leave in a certain way that makes it uncomfortable for them to go back. But that didn't happen with you.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the way you live. As I said, there was a release clause, and for me, it was easier for the club. But I always respect them, and that's the most important thing, because I'm really grateful with them, and that's why I've done it. But as I say, I have big love for them. I spent 3.5 years there, so really grateful for them, and I didn't want to live in a bad way. So I think it was the best for everyone.
What was it like walking through the doors at Anfield?
So special. So special, because it's a big club, and you've been at La Bombonera.
I was going to ask you, actually, that was one of my questions that I got planned in my head, was Bombonera or Anfield for atmosphere?
No, come on. It's so hard.
I've been to the Bombonera. I went there with Diego Maradona, you may have heard of. And it was the most unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, they're nuts, man. Yeah, as was Diego. He was trying to hang over the balcony. It was bizarre, but
yes, it's crazy, and I think they're different. Both are amazing, and I think in Europe, Liverpool's fans are the best. And I'm not saying it because I play for Liverpool. I know it's hard to understand it, but I think they are the best, or one of the best. But in Argentina, everything is different, because in Argentina we are used to sing songs like the whole game, so it creates something different. Whether here, I think it's more a reactive thing from the fans.
When you're going well, they start getting there, or sometimes when you're struggling, they get going.
Exactly. It depends what is happening during the game, and in Argentina it's different. But it's so hard, because at the same time I support Boca Juniors since I was a kid. So
it's your team, is it?
Yeah, it's my team. Yeah.
Those nights under the lights at Anfield, particularly perhaps in a second leg of how it used. Well, it will be in the knockout stages of a Champions League game. That must be something else, even if it's just a Premier League game. But that thing when you walk out, the lights are on. You never walk alone.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a second leg of Champions League.
You've not had that?
Never.
Well,
no,
given how you've started in the Champions League, I think you might get one.
Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, under the lights, I don't know, it feels magic. The other day against Real Madrid, or when you have big games, you could hear them, and they are really behind us. Yeah. And I think they know that we need them, and that's so important to create that connection between fans and the team. So yeah, I really love them, and really looking forward for that second leg in the Champions League, hopefully.
I'm sure you will. It'll be amazing. You started under Jurgen Klopp. Now you've got Arne Slot. Firstly, Jurgen Klopp. What was he? I mean, we all see him. He's got that incredible enthusiasm as well, a little bit like De Zerbi, but and did an amazing job there over a long period of time. What was he like to play for?
He was amazing from the first day, or actually before I signed for Liverpool. I had a call with him, and I don't know, since that moment I could feel that we were going to do great things. And I really enjoyed my time with him.
Did he try and sell the club to you? Did he sell himself to you, or how did he?
He didn't need to.
No, well, I know. I suppose you'd heard of him. But yeah, I just want to know what he said to you, really, to entice you to. He probably didn't need to say much, but you probably wanted assurances that you really, you were going to play, or not.
No, basically he said that there was going to be a change in terms of midfielders for the team. He wanted me to be part of it, and he compared me with players like Gundogan, for example, that he managed in Dortmund. He said that we had similar things, and that I could be an important player for Liverpool and for his team. So that was enough. That was enough to say I need to go there, because I was in a moment where I won the World Cup just 6 months ago, and I wanted to go to a club that I had the opportunity to win trophies, and I wanted to go to a club where I could feel important, where I could feel that I could have a history there. And that was enough. That was enough to tell myself that I wanted to play for Liverpool.
As a coach and as a person, what was he like to play for? Demanding or?
Yeah, very demanding, very demanding. Was human being, he's amazing. And I think it's hard when you are a coach or when you are a player to see that part. But I think when you are a good human being, then everything is easier. And he was very honest. Every time he needed to say the truth, he said it. So that's a really important thing for me, and he was always there for me to support me, because I remember at the beginning we didn't have a 6, so I had to start the season with playing as a 6.
Where do you like to play? What's your favourite role?
It's hard for me to say it, but I like to be in the middle. If I'm in contact with the ball, then I'm happy. So I started as a 6 last season, and people used to complain or criticize a little bit, and he was always there to support me and defend me. So that was the most important thing for me.
What was it like the morning or afternoon, whenever it was, that you got the news that Jurgen Klopp was going to walk away at the end of the season?
It was crazy because
you'd not been there that long.
No, and it was crazy because we didn't know anything. And there was a day where we went to training, and normally the report used to be 10:30, 10:45. And when I was on my way to a training ground, we received a message that we had a meeting 10:30. So it was quite weird. And when I got to the training ground, I'm next to Salah in the dressing room. So I asked him what's going on, and he said the manager is leaving.
Really, you got the news from Mo Salah?
From Mo Salah, yeah, and it was
first assist he's done for you, probably. Probably not the first,
but it was a surprise because no one expected it, and I think at that time we were first or second in the league, so it was a good moment. So there was no reason to leave. But we had a meeting. Basically, he explained, or he said that he was leaving, and we just had to accept it.
What was the mood like?
I think everyone was in shock because no one expected it. That was the main thing. Like, why is he leaving? But we understand that it was his decision. We really respected it, and he earned the right to do whatever he wanted. But we understood straight away that we had to finish the season in a good way.
Do you think it affected you though, because you kind of went off the ball towards the end, but you did have injuries?
I don't think it affected us. No. Maybe that could be the excuse, and we could blame him, but I don't think that affected us, and we just ran out of energy at the end. And when you compete against teams like Arsenal and City, you had to be at your best. So no, I don't think Jurgen's departure affected us, but of course it was a surprise for everyone.
Alexis, you've got a new manager. Arne Slot, what a start he's made it, because it must have been incredibly difficult filling the boots of Jurgen Klopp, because he's been so dominant at the football club and so impactful at the football club and so successful at the football club, that to follow in his footsteps. But boy, what a start.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that it was going to be difficult, but not Arne. I think since the first day. He was really clear with the things he wanted on and off the pitch.
Did he make an impact immediately?
Yeah. I would say immediately. I mean, I was in pre-season because of course I had international break after the season, so we had a couple of days off. But when I arrived to America, I could hear the boys, and they were so happy with Arne. They said it was quite different, especially in possession.
Tell us how. I mean, we've had our opinions on this podcast with Alan and Micah. That he seems to slow things down. No, definitely. But it's a mix of the old and certainly something of the new. And kind of rotating in midfield, and there seems to be a bit more patience and a slightly more thoughtful defensively. Would that be right? Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I think the main thing is in possession we are more patient. Defensively, I would say is similar to what we used to do with Jurgen. It depends on the other team as well. So we change a lot the pressing in terms of the other team, but I think the main thing is in possession where we are more patient. We have different patterns and different movements to understand where the spaces are and try to exploit them. And I think we are still getting into the idea.
Do you think he's more of a perhaps tactical coach than Klopp? Because Klopp was about passion, wasn't he? And high energy, gegenpress. And,
yeah, for sure. That's the main difference, the tactical side. But as I say, I think it's about finding the free man or the space and try to attack it and be more patient when you have the ball.
Does it suit you?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I would say so.
And for me, it's different as well because it's a different position. Like we spoke before that last season I played as a 6, and now it's more double 6, or sometimes I could even play as an 8 or 10, whatever you want to call it.
Have you always had that ability to be versatile within that midfield role, or have you learned it?
No, I learned. I started playing as a 10. In Argentina, normally the system is 4-2-3-1. So I used to play behind the 9 and used to be more an attacker. It changed when I arrived to Brighton, and since that moment, I think I learned and understood the game a little bit more, and that's what I try every single day. Try to understand positions or the spaces I need to attack on this kind of thing. So yeah, it's something that I learned, and I think it's really important to a player.
I spoke to Rodri last week, who's also on the podcast, and he was saying similar things, that he thinks about his position a lot. He talks about playing the position a lot, and also he watches all the games back. Do you watch your games?
Not really.
No,
not
you
really.
don't. No.
I used to do it, but now that we have a lot of games, sometimes you need the time to relax as well. But no, I don't really watch the games back. I don't think it's necessary because at the club we have everything, and normally the day after or 2 days after we watch some of the things that we need to improve. So if I have time, I do it, but not very often.
Are you surprised of how well Liverpool have started, given the fact that they had a new man in charge, even though that you could immediately tell that he knew what he was doing?
Yeah, for sure. And I said it the other day, like I didn't expect us to be in the place we are now because I think we are in a transition, as we spoke before, from Jurgen to Arne. New ideas, different things. But I think that the team got it quite quickly, and we really like the idea. So we enjoy playing this football, and I think that's why we are in the place we are.
You mentioned that sometimes you play as 2 number 6s, and there's an 8, and you kind of switch around. It's mainly been Gravenberch, yourself, and Curtis Jones, hasn't it? How's that work? That new midfield, if you like. How have you felt in it? Does it feel comfortable now?
Yeah, for me feels very good, and I think for the other guys as well. But yeah, we have the freedom to do whatever we want. Sometimes, because sometimes it's about staying in your place as well. And as I said before, spaces on these kind of things. But at the same time, we have the freedom to do whatever we want. And when you have players like Ryan, Curtis, Dom, Endo, Harvey, we have a lot of good midfielders. You have to give them that freedom. Yeah. So it feels really, really good because you can have that connection and those little passes between us. And yeah, we really like it.
I always think midfielders, it's very important for them to have a leader behind them. And in Virgil van Dijk, how much of a leader is he? Is he vocal on the pitch? Is he?
Yeah, he speaks a lot. He speaks a lot. But that's good. That's good. Yeah. Because you need players like that. And he leads by the example. He's one of the leaders with Mo, with Robo, Alisson. We have experienced players that really help us to be better players. And then they are so important because, for example, the game against Southampton, it wasn't a good game from us. We were struggling a little bit, losing 2-1. And that's the moment when you need players to step up. And that was the meeting at halftime where the manager said, now I want to see the players to step up. And that was Virgil and Salah play an amazing second half. And that's why you need them. And they are good people. They help you if you need. And then on the pitch, they do the work.
You knew I was going to ask you about Mo Salah. I mean, incredible player. He's done it for so long. He's so consistent. Even on the days where it's perhaps not working for him, he'll end up with a goal from somewhere or even an assist. What's he like? I mean, you sit right next to him. You said in the dressing room. We all know what he's like as a player. What's he like as a person?
Yeah, first thing, consistency is key, and he showed it. He's amazing, and when you have him, you know that he's gonna deliver and get the goals and assists that you need. So that's why he's so important. And then off the pitch, he demands a lot from him and from his teammates. So since I arrived to Liverpool, I think I changed a little bit my routine. Before I didn't used to go to the gym as much as now, and that's because of him.
Really?
Yeah. So
is that because you were changing next to him and he had better abs than you?
Or is
it more for your football?
Yeah, that's one thing. But the other thing is that he tells you that you need to be professional. You need to go to a gym or do this kind of thing. So it's a pleasure to work with him, and I think he really helps the players around.
I want to ask you, for no particular reason other than that he's one of my favourite footballers, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, because technically and the passer of the ball I think he's extraordinary.
Yeah, I think everyone can see the quality. Like, he's amazing on the ball. I know there was a lot of talking about his defensive side, but I think he's amazing as well as a defender.
Yeah, there's a reason I asked you a little bit about those three: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk. They're all obviously out of contract at the end of the season. Is that something that players talk about in the dressing room? Because you'd want them to stay, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course there is a lot of jokes, let's say, but at the end it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
And we are going to respect the club and him and them in whatever decision they make. Of course, we want them to stay with us, but as I say, it's a personal decision, and I would never get there.
How well do you think you can go on to win the league this season? It's too early, but it's great to have a lead, isn't it?
Yeah, it is early, but we have a nice difference now. So yeah, it is possible, of course, and we are there. We are candidates, let's say, but we need to keep going because it's too early. There is many games to come. We have Champions League as well, so we need to keep working, keep getting into Arne's idea, because I think we have a lot of things to improve yet, but we are in a good way.
The World Cup. The World Cup.
If there is someone that knows about World Cup, it's you. So
I don't know what it's like to win one, though, Alexis. Could you please tell me?
I don't know. I mean, it's
magical.
It's so special. Like, I think we are still realizing what it means, because it's something that is not easy, and yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. The most important thing for me was when we went back to Argentina and you could see people's faces. That was so special for us.
Millions of people out in the street.
There was 5 million people in the streets. And we went with the bus, and people used to run next to the bus for kilometers. So you could see people crying, smiling, saying a lot of things. So that was the most special moment in my football career, for sure.
And also, I think it added to it, because I think, apart from obviously France fans and perhaps some Ronaldo supporters, I think the rest of the world really wanted Argentina to win it because of Messi. Did it feel like that for the players? Did it feel like you wanted, not just for yourselves, but for him, because it was the one thing that was perhaps missing?
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone that shared dressing room with Lionel wanted him to win this World Cup. It was a special occasion, and he's the best. He's the best footballer ever. Ever.
I don't disagree. I mean, I saw that obviously played against Diego a few times, and I never thought I'd ever say that there was a better player than Diego Maradona. But I think ability-wise, almost the same. Amazingly similar. But you have to give it to the longevity, and you have to say that, you know, Diego had his issues which affected his career, whereas Messi's not. But we all know how great he was as a player, and you agree with me that he's the best of all time. But his leadership perhaps surprised a few people. We've all seen the interview perhaps before the Copa America game in Brazil, and and I assume it was probably a similar thing in the World Cup. He really came out, didn't he, as a leader?
Yeah, I think he received a lot of criticism from fans in Argentina.
How tough was that for him, do you think?
I think it was tough. I think he never shows it, but it was tough because he gave everything for the national team. He gave everything for his country, and he got to finals that he couldn't win. And when you are the best player, of course, you get the criticism, but he was always there. He kept going, and at the end he got the World Cup. But in terms of leadership, I think he improved it a lot. Like, he grew into that, and he's an amazing leader for us. He doesn't speak much, but he speaks when we really need him. So, for example, before we go into the pitch, he always speaks and says the things that he thinks or that he wants, and that's really special for us. But as I said, his leadership is amazing, and it's not just by word, but it's more by example.
Didn't start well either, did it? Saudi Arabia.
No, it didn't start well.
That must have been a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it was. But we always believed in ourselves. To be fair, we had like 5 or 10 minutes after the game where everyone was really sad and no one could speak. But after 5 or 10 minutes, our leaders, Leo, Otamendi, these kind of players, spoke and said the truth. Like, it was up to us, still up to us. It wasn't easy. But then at the end, we got the win against Mexico, and from that on, everything was much easier.
That was that moment with obviously Di Maria into Messi, and it was a special moment, wasn't it? It was like Argentina's World Cup had started.
Yeah, and I think that game, the first half, you could feel the nervousness from the fans, or even for us. It wasn't easy. But after that,
we were nervous in the studio, and I was watching. We were watching that game. We were there, and obviously, like most of the world, I wanted Argentina to win it for Messi. If it couldn't be England, of course, obviously, which it was Sadly, it wasn't either. But let me take you forward to the final, because describe what happened on that day. What's it like on the day? Can you remember it? Do you remember what you were like before the game? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
Yeah, during the World Cup, it was something crazy because I normally get really nervous before the games, but during the World Cup it didn't happen. I don't know why. Not even before the final. So basically, when we are with the national team, we have a lot of time off. Like, we can do whatever we want. And I remember that night I slept like 10 hours. And then after...
I bet you didn't sleep 10 hours after the game.
No, for sure no. But 10 hours during the night. Yeah. Then we had lunch.
Siesta.
And siesta for 2 hours and a half. And I couldn't believe that, because, you know, you get nervous, World Cup final, biggest stage, and I don't know how, but I slept 2 hours and a half before that, and I went into the game. I think it was because I really trusted my team and my teammates to do well, and it was an amazing final for neutrals.
Yeah, and you played a significant part.
Yeah, I think everyone plays a part.
But that goal in particular, what a move! What a beautiful bit of football that was.
It was nice. I think it was the best goal of the World Cup, because of the way I think everyone played one touch. Yeah. Amazing counter-attack. So, and after Di Maria, of course, made an amazing goal. But I felt really good. When people ask me was the best game I've ever played, I always say the final, because I felt really good, and I felt important for the team as well.
You said you felt really good. You're playing in a game, you're dominating it. France can't get a kick. They're just not in it. And then suddenly, from 2-0 up, you're 2-2. I mean, you couldn't have felt that good then. That must have been like, what on earth is happening?
For sure, it wasn't easy. When they scored the 2-1, I don't know. I was still confident in ourselves, but then after the equalizer, it was so hard. I think everyone got nervous at that time. It wasn't easy, but then again against Holland, when we went to extra time, we showed again what we could do.
And then it happened again.
So it was a crazy game, I think, for neutrals, as you say.
It's the most extraordinary match. I think the most memorable in my lifetime. I probably played in the second most memorable match of all time, which was Mexico '86, the quarter-final, because of Diego's 2 goals. One with the hand, and obviously one was the best goal probably ever scored. But to live that, to be part of the team, to go through that emotional roller coaster, and then then the penalty shootout. I always thought you'd win a penalty shootout because of your goalkeeper.
Because of Martinez.
What a goalkeeper. Yeah.
Do you think he's one of the best today?
Absolutely. Did you see the save he made a week or so ago again in Aston Villa against Juventus? Yeah.
He was amazing. Yeah. I think he's one of the best.
Yeah, he strikes me as quite a personality.
People doesn't like him.
The master of shit housing.
But I think you need one of these guys in your team.
You need to win, don't you?
He's one of them that when they are in the other team, you hate him, but when you have him in your team, then he's one of the best. So really happy for him, because he worked really hard. He struggled a little bit to play football. Then he had the possibility to play for Arsenal, and since that moment he showed what he's capable of. Yeah. So really happy for him, because he's a nice guy as well.
How was the penalty shootout?
But to be fair,
it couldn't have gone better, really.
Yeah, but to be fair, I suffer more the penalty shootout against Holland than this one, because I think they missed the second and the third. So that's
looking good.
You could feel that we were going to become champions. So it wasn't that bad.
Final whistle goes. The end of the penalty shootout. The penalty is scored. Can you remember how you felt? Do you remember the emotion?
I was in shock.
Yeah.
I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I remember the first thing I did, it was to look at behind the bench because my family was there.
That must have been beautiful.
That was so special. That was so special. My family and some friends, that they left everything to go there for the final.
I thought you were going to say they left with 5 minutes to go.
No.
Imagine that. I don't think you could from that game.
So yeah, it was so special to have them in the stands and to watch that game. So yeah, just look at them, walk, say thank you to the referees. I don't know why. I don't know
because
why.
You're a
I was just in
because
joke.
You've been
I
in
didn't
England
know.
a while now, and that's what you gentlemen do.
No, but I didn't know what to do. To be fair, it didn't feel real. You know?
Yeah.
So yes, so special.
Scaloni, what was he like? I mean, he did an amazing job clearly, and he's hardly lost a game in all the time that he was there.
Yeah, he's an amazing human being, and everything is easier when it's like this. He got the team in a really difficult moment for the country and for the national team after Russia. And since that moment, I think he understood what Messi needed.
What did he need?
He needed a good defense, people who could run and do the dirty job for him, and then just pass the ball to him and play for him, basically. But it's not easy because at the end, I think every manager that it was before Scaloni tried that as well.
Of course, yeah.
But
it's hard winning major tournaments.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's so hard. And
what's it like playing on the same team as Lionel Messi?
At the beginning, it wasn't easy because you get nervous.
Do you get a bit self-conscious? Because I know me with my first touch, I'd have been going, "Oh God, this is so embarrassing." He's so good. Was there a degree of that?
Yeah, for sure. That was the first phase, let's say, that it wasn't easy. But then when you meet the guy and you speak with him, then you realize that he's just a human being. That he's an amazing guy, and you just need to understand him on the pitch, and everything is easier. I have a really good connection with him on the pitch, and I think that's really, really important because I play and I move when I see what he does. So I react to his movement, and that's
even before he's got the ball or when he's got the ball.
No, even before. Yeah. I try to be in different spaces, not to get into his space, or because at the end he's always had like 2 or 3 guys on him. Yeah. So there is a part of the pitch that is free if there is 2 or 3 with him. So I think it's about understanding those kind of things, and that give the ball to him, and he will do what he wants and what he knows.
And sometimes, and even during that World Cup, many occasions you must look at him and go, "Wow, how does he do that?"
Even in training, like World Cup was of course fantastic, but even in training, if you can give him whatever pass you want, his first touch will be amazing. That's to start, and then, as I said, you make a movement and he will see it. The pass he gave to Molina against Netherlands.
Oh, how does he?
Just him.
Do you know what I always think with? I don't know. Sorry to interrupt, but when I watch Messi, he sees things that you can't see from the stand, and it's almost like he's playing the game as an out-of-body experience, where he's looking at himself from above and has a whole view of the field. I mean, how does he see those things? Do you ever go to him? How do you see that pass?
No, not really.
Because that's what people forget sometimes, isn't it? We're obsessed with stats now. It's goals and assists, but it's not that, is it? It's not that. It's the little things he does on the halfway line when there's 4 players around him, and you go, "Oh, he's done," and then he wriggles. He finds his way out. Mm-hmm. I think footballers look perhaps for more of that than perhaps fans do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's got a god apart. Like, he can do whatever he wants, and everything looks easy for him. The difficult part is to understand that you are not at the same level as him, because that's the truth. If you understand that and you play for him, then everything is easier, and I really enjoy playing with him. That's the only thing I can say, and I'm really lucky, and everyone at the national team is really lucky to play with him, because there won't be anyone like him.
No, I agree. When you won the World Cup, were you more pleased for Messi than yourself?
No.
Good.
Sorry, but no.
No, it's the right answer.
Sorry, but no.
No, it's the right answer.
Like,
But I thought I'd ask the question because the reaction of the team towards him and everything.
Yeah.
Was,
No, I
mean,
think
everyone's pleased.
I think the easy
added to it,
the easy
probably.
answer it would be yes.
Yeah.
But like, it is what I dreamed since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I won a World Cup. We won a World
I
Cup,
know.
and it felt amazing. But first, because of me, because of the work that I've done for so many years, because of the work that my family's done for me. But yeah, of course, that I was happy for him as well.
What a way to finish. We won a World Cup. I envy you. And I also want to say a big thank you for this interview. It's been fascinating, Alexis. Thank you very much.
I got a present for you.
Wow.
As you know, in Argentina, we drink
Mate.
a lot of mate.
Tea, yes.
So basically...
Is this mate for me?
No, but this is made with yerba mate, with herbs. So yeah, it's a present for you. I hope you like it.
There you go. The man with the golden boot and a silver mic. What an honour. We're up against it here because I know you normally prefer bags of crisps to cans of drinks. They go well together, Alexis. I fancy our chances though. So if you don't like Hearth, I'll play Liverpool's next match in my underwear. Never make promises like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. I hope you liked Hearth.
I did. First half and second half.
So thank you very much. It's a pleasure.